So we had some folks reach out, they saw our YouTube videos and they decided, hey, we don't want to go it alone. We want to get some representation when we want to build new at the Delaware beaches. We said, great. So we set up an appointment, we asked some questions, and it really seemed that the kitchen was a big deal. They wanted to be able to do some custom things, really into cooking, really into entertaining, and we said, great, there's some incredible options with new construction. And so we said, have you been online? Have you been looking to the builders? And oh, yeah, of course we have. And so they give us a list, and so we end up in our first appointment, and we're at a national builder. And there's nothing wrong necessarily with national builders. And the sales rep just wants to really talk about the payment. We can get you in this house in this amount of time, and if you put X dollars down, your payment's gonna be Y. And that's kind of what they led with, was like, hey, here's the money, and let's talk about that. And let's face it, the monthly payment was very attractive, and our clients are very responsive. The conversation turns, and we kind of steered it a little to say, what can you do to the kitchen of this house? And the sales rep, gave some options, and you could just tell by the look on the face of our people that they were not real happy about that. The problem is they were loving the monthly payment. And I thought to myself, this has the potential to be a builder disaster. And what it means is that sometimes the builder's values and the customer's values are not necessarily aligned. And that's so important. Because here's the thing, these folks want a custom kitchen, and that's important to them. Chances are when you have something that is important to you in your house, you're willing to spend a few dollars to get it, or you should be. So, but they're looking at this monthly payment going, oh my gosh, I get all this house for such a relatively low monthly payment, but I can't do anything custom to the kitchen. I have three color choices, light, medium, and dark. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't care, why pay for a fancy kitchen if you're not a kitchen person? But if you're a kitchen person and you want a fancy kitchen and the builder doesn't offer it, here's how that ends. It ends with you buy the house because you just think it's such a great deal. And then you move in and it's not the right fit for your life and you blame the builder. And there's a red flag that happened way before the move-in day, and it happened on this initial meeting because you've got one party that's talking about here's how much the house is going to cost, and that's their main selling feature. So they led with price as a value. But something that was important over here is the kitchen. The kitchen is important. And so if you've got these two competing interests, and of course nobody wants to overpay for a house, but if you're going to build a house that works for the way that you live your life. I mean, that's just fundamental, even if it costs a little more. And so what we were able to do, because we were there and because I was able to sort of identify this, it's like, hey, we got out of that appointment, we're going to the next appointment, and I said, what did you hear? And they're like, oh, we loved it. And I said, what do you think? And I said, did you hear what the builder was saying? And the builder was talking about price. And I said, and when you started talking about kitchens, they brought the conversation back to price. And that's not a bad builder. They don't need to apologize. They're not doing anything. They're not misrepresenting anything. What they're telling you is our value proposition is based on cost. But what the customer, the potential customer, is saying, our value proposition is not just cost, because everybody's has cost as a factor, but it's also some kind of quality of life or some kind of lifestyle decision. And so there's a huge disconnect between the builder and the possible customer. And if they move forward with that builder, I promise you there's a lot of frustration. And folks, we were there to help sort it out and talk through the process and understand that, hey, maybe a different builder, maybe spending a little bit more money is going to be the best option for us. And we are able to help that customer. But folks, if you're going in blind, if you aren't working with someone who understands builders and understands the process and is going to take the time to know a little about your story to help you find the best fit, you can end up with a disaster where you're just going to end up on the internet complaining about the quality of your builder because quality was really important to you, but you bought on price. And so a good value to you is a high quality home. A good value to the builder is the least expensive home possible. And that's never going to end well. It's not. So if you're thinking about building new at the Delaware beaches, we would love to talk to you before you go and talk to the builders. Simply reach out to us. Our website is here on YouTube and you can find us and we can really help you get a great value based on your definition of what value is. I'm Scott Dailey for Dailey Dailey Real Estate. Have a